Are you really worried about your sons if they were to be gay?
Nothing wrong with them being gay or nothing like that. It's just that I don't want my son going through it all the time.
That's actually fair. I have no problem with a gay son. A lot of people do. I don't want them to have to go through getting bullied.
Femininity does not equate to homosexuality.
I do think that there is something to it. Gay little boys tend to like to be more feminine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that you're seen as less than, because femininity in general is seen as less than. Okay.
My dad and my mom would have put me in check so bad, bro.
We even check? They would have hate you for acting fucking gay?
Put this in football or basketball game.
Yeah, guys. It's not healthy to be gay, but apparently it's healthy to have a traumatic brain injury. So we're doing well. Guys, do you want to do gay stuff? The fear of having a gay son. This just looks interesting. Gay son, thought daughter. Taking the gay son. Don't need no thoughts in here. I'm curious about this video. It's by DeQuell Dante. Pretty sure that's the name. I think I said that right. I'm a pretty cool guy.
Would you rather have a gay son or a daughter?
Daughter, I don't know. Daughter? Gay son.
I remember I saw one person. They were like, "Do you ever have a gay son or a thought daughter?" They're like, "Oh, I'd rather have a thought daughter because then she could let me hit." And I was just like, "Wow, that's some. Those are words. You know, you said some words there. You know."
Gay son.
All right, why thought daughter?
I don't even know, honestly.
Personally, my uncles are both gay. It's not a choice that they make. It's just who they are. Thought daughter's a choice they made.
Yeah, you said a lot of funny stuff on the song. Yeah. I mean, are you really worried about your sons if they were to be gay?
Yeah, like it's nothing wrong with them being gay or nothing like that. It's just that I don't want my son to go through it as a father figure. Like I got family members that like what they like, so it's like it's not nothing wrong with it. It's just I don't want my son going through it all the time. I don't want to have to try to protect him from that type of lifestyle.
That's actually fair. I kind of understand that, like fundamentally, like, hey, I have no problem with a gay son, but a lot of people do, a lot of other people do. So I don't want to have a gay son because I don't want them to have to go through getting bullied. That's kind of fair. I could kind of respect that. I don't think that that's like the worst response ever. I mean, I think as long as it comes with the understanding that, like, if I do have a gay son, I will protect him. You know, that's kind of like a fair thing to say. You know what I mean? Like, if I have a furry son, I think I'll let him get beat up. Actually, you know.
I hope you don't.
I think I would let them get beat up a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. Not a little bit, just a lot. I would beat them up. I'd be their biggest bully.
That way, but like he's still gonna be my son. I just don't want him to have to go through the little extra stuff of liking whatever he like.
How come only in like the black families or black community, they don't care if their son be a murderer, they don't care if their son be a child molester, they don't care if their son just go out break hearts, you know, rob banks, do the most evilish.
Oh shit, am I allowed to talk about this topic? Dude, I'm a fucking white guy. Let's talk about the black community. I mean, I've talked to at least one black person in my life. And no, but well, I mean, I have. Okay, so anyway, and I've heard somewhat similar sentiment that there seems to be like a disproportionate issue in the black community when it comes to you know, the acceptability of gay or trans or whatever, kids or adults or whatever. Personally, I think it has a lot more to do with religion. You know, in those typically black communities don't have as much money. I feel like, you know, people will gravitate towards religion when they don't have any other options, or they have fewer financial options, you know what I mean? So it's like to some degree. And I love God, but it is kind of a cope sometimes. It's like, oh man, I'm really poor. I don't want to be that anymore. You kind of have like a belief. Wow, I just got fucking mega cucked. Anyway, you know, people are poor and they have more of a you know, gravitation towards religion to try to like, okay, explain like horrific circumstances that they're in. I think it has more to do with that, but and you know, religion unfortunately tends to be more homophobic.
Shit in the world, but the moment they found out their son is gay, bisexual, whatever the case may be, they disown them. They're ready to kick them out the house. Oh, you're not my son.
I'm not homophobic, but I just don't want my son, you know, to swing the other way.
Okay, so that's being homophobic. If you think it's...
You guys would be okay with your 16-year-old son bringing another 17-year-old male into your house and, you know, they
absolutely
do their thing?
Sure. What?
Absolutely.
The way he phrased that was very strange.
Absolutely they should be able to do that. Why would I feel
uncomfortable? I would only feel uncomfortable if they were mistreating my son. I'd only.
Dean he just sounds so. I don't know. It just doesn't sound authentic to me. Maybe that's it.
Yeah,
Maybe it's not for me.
Literally,
my son was in a bad relationship, but as long as my son is in a happy, healthy, good relationship, why would I care who it's with? Honestly, if you wouldn't be willing to accept your child and the chance that they're not straight, you probably shouldn't have had kids in the first place, because you're basically saying that there's around a 20 to 30% chance that you're just not going to end up accepting your offspring, and that's like super fucked up.
That's the most.
I feel like it's not that high. I know that Gen Z is identifying as LGBTQ more, but I don't know if it's that. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter if it is or isn't. So who gives a fuck?
Same take I've ever heard.
Especially coming from like a pro-lifer, it's like, oh God, like I love children so much that I want to violate women's rights to ensure that these children will exist. But guess what? I'm gonna roll the dice, and like 1 out of every 3 rolls, I'm gonna end up hating them and rejecting them as my kid. Like, come on.
The fear some parents have about having a gay son is complex. Influenced by societal norms, personal beliefs, or worries about their child's future. These fears often arise from concerns about the social challenges and discrimination a gay individual might encounter. Parents might worry their son will be excluded.
Me personally, I'm not really too worried about it. I live in an area that's a bit more conservative. But also, I like to harass people. So, it's funny. I went to like a Polish festival somewhat recently, and I wore a MAGA shirt. But it was sorry, I'm fucking tearing out damn, I got a lot of nose hairs. Anyway, I wore a MAGA shirt, but instead of saying Make America Great Again, it said Make America Gay Again. There were so many people that were triggered by it. It's actually, it would be funny if it wasn't almost scary. Like, what the fuck? People get like really triggered. But that's kind of the, that was kind of the point. I'm not gonna lie. I was doing it to be a little provocative, be kind of a fucking dickhead to some of them. You know what I mean? Because some of them are fucking assholes themselves. So fuck them. You know what I'm saying, dude? You know what I'm saying, dude?
Bullied or missed chances because of their sexual orientation. This worry increases in areas where homophobic attitudes exist, making parents feel.
A lot of people like the shirt though. A lot of people are like, "Oh man, I love that shirt so much." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh, cool, thanks, man."
Protective and anxious about their son's safety. Personal beliefs and cultural expectations also play a big role. Some parents have traditional views on family and marriage, imagining a heterosexual future for their children. The idea of having a gay son may challenge these established beliefs, causing inner conflict and resistance. Religious views can make this issue more complicated, leading parents to fear their son may be rejected by the religious community or face severe consequences in the afterlife. For centuries, society has devalued feminine traits in men. When a young boy or a man shows emotion, sensitivity, or even prefers the color pink, they are often viewed as less worthy. But in the end, this fear usually comes from a desire for their child to have a happy and fulfilling life based on society expectations. But addressing these fears takes education.
I don't know, man. I feel like some of the fears come down to like, oh man, I'm worried that my kid's gonna. I mean, the religious one actually makes more sense, I guess. I feel like a lot. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm just uncharitable, but I feel like a lot of it's just that they fucking hate gay people because they're pathetic. Honestly, that's that's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but some of it just seems like, oh, they fucking hate gay people because they just hate gay people. Because they're just hateful individuals.
Empathy and a readiness to confront personal biases in order to accept and support their son's identity. But let's unpack.
But I suppose if you think that there's an eternal afterlife, you'd want your kid to go to it. But I also just don't think that God hates gay people. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because we've learned, we've kind of learned already that God is gay. No, we've kind of learned already that God doesn't speak to people in the Bible the way that people interpret it. They're like, oh, God spoke to me and told me to fucking kill my son. God never did that. God gave, people in general, they get the ability to view, I would say, the lens of God. That's why a lot of conservatives will get, really fucking shit stirred when you bring up, that religion justifies slavery. And they'll be like, no, it doesn't justify slavery. Slavery was just, better than the rules for justifying slavery were just better rules than that society had at the time. So actually we were nicer to the slaves, I guess, based on those rules. Okay, cool. But all right, so sure, let's go down that line. Well, that means that if you're going to decide to reject the concept that slavery is justified because God gives you, and they'll usually say that God gives you the morals that people are ready for. like, oh, okay, well then to me, what's being communicated there is that like you don't believe specifically in the words of the Bible as much as you believe in like the interpretation of like God's love, right? And so you'd always want to progress for more, no? Right? That's what's communicated to me, at least. So people know that. I don't think that gay people are going to hell. It's fucking silly.
Practice and talk more about it. What's up, you guys? Welcome and welcome back to my YouTube.
Or you could just be like, hey, it's all fucking none of it's logical. So you also go that direction.
Channel. It's your boy Doc Quadante, and I'm back at it again with another video. Now, as you guys can see by the title, we're talking about the fear of having a gay son. Now, I put up a poll 3 days ago, and I was asking you guys which video did y'all want first, and ironically, y'all wanted this video first, so here we go. Now, thank y'all so much, because I actually got over 1,000 of y'all that voted. I appreciate y'all so much. I don't know why, y'all, this is like the 20th time of me recording the same video, and it's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. I know everything is already mapped out in my notes, but it's been a while since I've been in front of a camera because I've been busy with life and everything, and that's probably the reason why y'all haven't really been seeing me, but I've been busy. When you take a break from the camera for so long, it's like you're starting all over again, and I feel like this is like my first YouTube video where I kept making mistakes and kept recording and recording and recording. So yeah, please bear with me, y'all. I will loosen up. What sparked this conversation, TikToker by the name of The Real D Thomas, I think I'm saying her name right, but she posted a video and she basically expressed how she don't want her sons to see her, you know, putting on makeup. And I'm pretty sure any
why? You think they're gonna turn gay?
Other thing that's quote unquote feminine to her, she doesn't want her sons to be exposed to it. I'm gonna put the clip in.
And when I'm in the bathroom getting ready, hair and makeup, my sons is not allowed in the bathroom. I don't play that shit.
As you guys,
what's the shit that she doesn't play? Like, what the fuck? What the hell?
You can see, it was very ignorant and very homophobic for her to say. But unfortunately, a lot of people feel this way, especially within my community, the black community, feel as though if they let their sons.
Why? I mean, listen, you're better off having a fucking gay kid that knows how to do hair or whatever, makeup. It's gay people tend to do the best in the like the makeup communities, you know, better than women. So make your kid gay, and then they can love hairstyling and stuff, and they'll make more money than women. They're fucking, you know, win-win.
You know, watch them put on makeup or watch them do this and that and third. As a woman, they just don't want their sons to be exposed to that because it's a possibility they could be gay. Now, when I seen the video,
you could tell. You could tell if your kid's gay when they're like 3 or 4 years old. I have a cousin Douglas, and I love my cousin Douglas, but there's no real but. Like, I love my cousin Douglas, but I remember when I was 11 years old, I told my uncle, I said, this fucking kid's gay. And he said, hey, as long as he's happy. What a beautiful moment. But yeah, you're gay. You know, after all that. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell. You could just tell. I don't know what it is exactly. Maybe they like the theater or something, but I was right. He's gay as fuck. So
all I could think about was, damn, like, what is this fear about having a gay son?
Every day, y'all get on this app and y'all say some of the most ignorant shit I've ever heard.
Damn.
And the crazy part is, she's not the only person that thinks like this. I overheard someone at work literally saying the same thing. And I was just like, y'all cannot be fucking for real. Your son watching you get ready is going to make him gay. In your effort to protect your son from turning gay, you're teaching him that femininity is shameful. You're teaching him that softness and beauty care is dangerous. And that if he understands women or even admire them, he's considered less than.
That's actually a good point. I didn't even think of it like that. Like in your efforts to not make your kid gay or whatever, you've actually just made your I understand. You've actually just made your kid like weak and hate femininity. It's not just about hating gay people, but femininity. And I think that like men need more femininity in the world. I think that men can embrace their femininity a little more, not necessarily makeup or lipstick or, you know, nail polish. That's gay. But, you know, you can be a little bit more loving and caring and kind to people around you, be a little more present for other people around you in your life, you know. I think that's a beautiful thing. I think a little bit of femininity is a very positive, productive thing. So
you think you're protecting him from being gay, but what you're really doing is raising him to be emotionally stunted, confused, and possibly resentful towards women, including you. Let's be clear. Gay people don't become gay because they watch their mother beat their face. They're gay because that's just who they are.
True.
And if your son is gay, having your damn mascara like a loaded weapon is not going to stop it. All you're doing is showing him early on that the love that you give him is conditional. The last thing society needs is little boys growing up into grown men who think femininity is a threat, who think softness is a weakness. So let your son grow up and watch you put makeup on. Let him see the artistry behind it.
It's kind of based. This woman's pretty based, dude.
Let him see the confidence. Let him learn that womanhood is not something to fear, it's something to respect. Because the most dangerous thing a boy can be taught is that the woman's world is off limits until he's trying to control it.
I want to talk about understanding the roots of the fear of having a gay son. And what I mean by that is I really want to get into like a brief history of where does the fear of having a gay son, like where does it come from? So we're going to get into that. And I also want to talk about how femininity does not equate to homosexuality. A lot of y'all get those two misconstrued and it be kicking y'all in the ass sometimes. I'm sorry, it do.
Well, I mean, obviously gay people tend to be more feminine or whatever. But like femininity, like here's a great example of femininity. Doing drugs, no. Being a social worker is generally a more feminine field, and we need more men in there. And because like empathy is femininity, that's the way that that's just like the reality. And so it could really benefit people. Oh wait, I think I know what to do. It could be really benefiting for a young man to be able to embrace their femininity enough to have enough empathy to be able to go into that field, because that field is very important. Especially, it needs men. Social work needs more men. Feminine fields need more men. They need a male perspective, especially like imagine, regardless of what it is, maybe it's a kid with an intellectual or developmental disability, or it's just like another young man going through a hard time. Who do you think they're going to respond better to? A woman? A stupid woman? No, a woman? Or do you think they're going to respond better to a man? It's probably a man. They're probably going to respond better to a man. They probably need that more masculine presence in their life to be able to help guide them. I would almost guarantee that that's the case.
And then we're going to react to TikToks. At first, I thought I had a lot of TikToks lined up today, but I only have one. I don't have a lot today. So we're going to react to one TikTok today, and we're going to get into that. In many societies, being gay has historically been stigmatized or seen as abnormal. Parents raised in these environments may subconsciously adopt these biases. This fear is thousands of years old, but has undergone a remarkable transformation in the last half century in response to the rise of the queer community. To go back in time, in ancient Greece, male-on-male relationships were often accepted or even idealized, especially between older men and adolescent boys. In ancient Rome, homosexual behavior was tolerated but only under specific roles: dominant partner versus submissive.
Yeah, you were just a girl, something like that.
A Roman man could engage in homosexual acts as long as his masculinity or dominance wasn't seen as compromised. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam began to influence sexual norms heavily. In the Bible, male homosexuality was labeled as abomination. The shift from seeing sex as a social political act to
I wonder if those societies, because again, if you look, there seems to be kind of almost like a one-to-one. There seems to almost be like a one-to-one of like, well, there is a religion developing around a society, religion. Religion really just exists to enforce particular roles in society, and so. I wonder if those were times where there were population problems, so they felt like they needed to say that like religion or being gay was wrong, just so that they could, I guess, deal with whatever they could make sure that they maximize the number of people being born. I wonder if that's the case. I don't really know though.
A moral religious issue contributed to
I have no idea.
Fear, shame, and secrecy. In the 19th century, homosexuality became associated with perversion, mental illness, and later criminal behavior in many countries. In the 1950s, Cold War America, the Lavender Scare saw gay men purged from government jobs, considered national security risks. Medical authorities labeled homosexuality as a mental illness until 1973. Masculinity was strictly policed. Fathers feared their sons who were too soft, too emotional, or too feminine. The HIV and AIDS epidemic was deeply associated with gay men in the public mind.
Well, there did seem to be disproportionately gay men, but that has nothing to do with being gay. Here's my thing. If I was gay, I'd be fucking a lot of dudes. Okay, and dudes do like to be fucking more than girls do. All right, follow me here. So the reason I believe why there was a higher rate of AIDS within the gay community is because guys love to fuck, and usually girls are like, "No, I'm not gonna just fuck you." But when you put two dudes together, they just be slamming their fucking shit together. So that's my theory on that. personally.
Media often portray gay men as vectors of diseases, reinforcing fears and stigmas. For centuries, the fear has been articulated specifically in sexual terms, as a belief that children would be seduced into queerness by adults. Now, I kind of want to get into how certain queer people don't want their sons to be gay either. Now, I know for me, I put up a video a couple of months ago, just kind of feeling like if you are trying to be a parent, you should walk into parenthood being prepared for whatever. Whether your child want to transition, may be attracted to the same sex, they may come out with a disability, whatever the case may be, you should accept their child, as such, right? So
I personally wouldn't I wouldn't do too much association with being gay and like a disability, but I understand what he's saying.
Whenever I would hear somebody express why they don't want their child to be gay, I wouldn't want to hear it because I feel like you should accept your child no matter what. But it wasn't until rapper Saucy Santana came out, he did an interview with BET back in 2023, just kind of expressing why he don't want to have a gay son.
I'm too dope not to have a little, I think for me, just being honest, I'm just worried about how to raise a kid. You know what I'm saying?
That's a common fear.
Yeah, how to raise a kid and just me being gay, and I feel like if I have a son, I wouldn't want my son to be gay. And not because nothing is wrong with it, but because of everything that I went through.
Feel that. That's real.
That makes sense. Plus, I think a lot of homophobic people would also be like, oh, a gay guy had a gay son. Oh, wow. See, we were right. We were right about the grooming. You know what I mean? Which obviously they were not right about. But I feel like that would be like the almost the kind of, I guess, implication of that. Where that would be what people would say. You have fucking Ben Shapiro going, see, I told you. I told you that it happens. I told you. You know?
Yeah.
Maybe more like Michael Knowles or something would be more likely to say that. I don't know.
A gay boy, growing up a gay boy, just all of the stuff behind the scenes that you go through, growing up, going to school, just living in the world. It's like, I mean, of course, if he got my genes, he probably could take it. But it's just, you don't want to, that's just like.
That's a gay sentence.
That's just like as y'all, if you grew up in the projects, and when you get your kids, you don't want your kids to have to grow up in the projects. You know?
And the last thing I want to get into before we start reacting to a TikTok is femininity does not equate to homosexuality. Femininity and homosexuality are different ideas that society often mixes up. Femininity includes traits, behaviors, and roles typically associated with women in a certain culture. These traits can include nurturing, emotional expressiveness, and interest in things like fashion or home activities. Homosexuality, however, refers to sexual attraction and emotional desire toward people of the same gender.
Listen, gay dudes do be more feminine though. This is true. This is true.
The confusion between these terms comes from a strict gender stereotypes that dictate certain behaviors and interests based on one's sex.
I know that's a lot of the gender stereotypes, but I do think that there is something to it. Like, gay little boys tend to like to be more feminine, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just think that there's a part of the reason why there is so much homophobia against gay men specifically is because it's not good. It's not seen as a good thing to be a feminine like man. You're seen as less than, because femininity in general is seen as less than. Even though it's a very powerful tool for people to be able to, even and a lot more men need to be more feminine, in my opinion.
Or perceived sexual orientation. But the difference between femininity and homosexuality becomes clear when we look at human diversity. Anyone, regardless of their sexual orientation, can display feminine traits. For example, a heterosexual man might enjoy traditional feminine activities, such as baking,
like throat and cock,
flower arranging, without anyone questioning his sexual orientation.
No, I would think you might be kind of gay if you liked arranging flowers. That's just me personally. There's nothing wrong with that, but
lesbian woman can express herself in a feminine way by wearing.
I don't think kids conceptualize gender that young. They just did what they did. Yes, that's my point, is that they, despite the fact that they don't understand gender stereotypes, they still tend to like girl shit. That's my point that I was making.
And dresses and makeup, while still being attracted to only women. So yeah, that's my take when it comes to femininity versus homosexuality. I feel like those two be kicking some of y'all in the ass, especially when you're small-minded. Like, it just be kicking y'all in the ass, and I just laugh every time when I witness the shit. Now, one person who I want to bring up that I feel like correlates a lot with this video is Jada Waiter's son. If y'all don't know who Jada Waiter is, she's basically like an influencer that's made her mark within the social media world. And, she has a baby by Little Baby.
Who's Mark?
Baby, which is a rapper. She showcases her son a lot on social media. His name is Loyal. Ever since she's been posting Loyal on her page, everybody been having all of their opinions on him, feeling like he's gay, Feeling like he's too feminine, he need to be around his dad more. I'll put in some clips of what I'm talking about.
Did not touch that. Jesus Christ.
I ain't even gonna cap you down, bro. When I was a little kid, and I can probably speak for about 90% of it. You know, little boys and shit. Well, my dad and my mom would put me in check so bad, bro. It's either one way you can come out of it. Just growing up with your mom and shit, bro. You're either gonna be sweet or you're gonna beat the allegations and you're gonna be that real nigga.
I don't understand what the fuck's happening. First of all, I don't really understand how this is even gay. He's just doing some dancing. He's being silly. Alright, maybe that's a little... That was fucking crazy. Wow. This kid's fucking talented.
Okay, I ain't even gonna cap you down, bro. When I was a little kid, and I can probably speak for about 90% of it. You know, little boys and shit. Well, my dad and my mom would put me in check so bad, bro. It's either one way you can come out of it. Just growing up with your mom.
You know what? You gonna put you what?
Little boys and shit. Well, my dad and my mom would put me in check so bad, bro.
Put you in check? You said that they would have hit you for acting fucking gay?
It's either one way you can come out of it. Just growing up with your mom and shit, bro. You're either gonna be sweet or you're gonna beat the allegations and you're gonna be that real nigga. Little baby, you gotta come with your son, bro. Because when I was a kid, nigga, I was outside gang. Like I was sitting on the green box, you know, playing freeze tag, all that other stuff.
All right, people don't do that anymore for a couple of reasons. One reason is because people are afraid that their kids will get hurt if they're outside. Another reason is people actually like their kids now. Back in the day, you know, you'd be like, oh, you'd have like 10 kids and you'd be like, all right, leave the house for 12 hours while mommy had a nightcap all day and got drunk and took pills, right? Now you're expected to do a lot more. So also, who cares if the kid's gay? Maybe the kid doesn't want to go outside. Maybe the kid maybe the kid is gay. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? And enjoys being around his mom. Or maybe this is just like him being silly. Who gives a fuck?
You know, playing with Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z toys and all that other stuff. I was not talking about some Karen pulling my hair like this. And it'd be the ones out there talking about, he's just a little kid. This nigga is playing baddie. Like, it come to a point in time, you gotta check that shit. Like, this nigga's acting feminine as fuck. Put this nigga in football or basketball game. There's gonna be people out there that's talking about some.
Yeah, guys, this kid, he's too feminine. Put him in football. Give him a traumatic brain injury. I'm like, what? I love that. I love how the response is like, listen, this kid's too feminine. You got to make sure that he has like a lifelong issue with his fucking brain, because that's really healthy. Is it healthy to be gay? It's not healthy to be gay, but apparently it's healthy to fucking have a traumatic brain injury. So we're doing well.
You got to let the little kid grow up. He's just a little child. He's a little baby. He doesn't know any better.
At this point, you finna change this nigga name to Saucy Royal, gang. Like, this is crazy, bro. Bro, I guarantee you, if Lil Baby ever get in a rap battle, that's over with. His son, they finna bring up his son. Lil Baby might as...
Why the fuck would he get into a rap battle, though? That's fucking cringe as fuck that you even say that. What the fuck?
So just get ready to go to jail, bro, because now...
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck.
So cute.
She gotta stop doing them get ready me's with that baby. She gotta stop doing them get ready with me's with that little boy.
Oh. Well, you sound and look just like you have everything together, so I should probably take good parenting advice from you, huh?
Talk. I see the stuff they talking about.
Whoa.
I'ma shut up.
I really want y'all to understand how creepy it comes off when y'all see a young boy and you're disgusted or even a little tiniest bit bothered by the fact that this young boy is displaying signs of femininity that you don't.
I wonder how outraged they'd be if somebody wasn't even like there for their kid. This woman has like around for her kid and they're like, oh, you got to stop doing this and that and the other thing. And it's like, okay. You know, but what if I mean, how often or how concerned are you guys for criticizing people who are not in their kids' lives at all? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
No. I just saw this video of Tia Kemp and she's looking at a video of Jada Waiter's son, Loyal. And I guess in the video, to what she's saying, he's acting feminine and she just looks disgusted. And she's like, ugh, she need to stop doing get ready. Jada Waiter need to stop doing get ready with me's around her son. Like, girl, why do you care? Do you? Do you need that or something? Like, what? Ew. Y'all see a child not misbehaving, not being disrespectful, just existing. And you're disgusted by the fact that this child that you don't know is not fitting into the box of what you deem as masculine. When 9 times out of 10, girl, you have that box based around the men in your personal life that you have relationships with.
Damn, this guy's fucking frying the fuck out of her.
Whether personal or emotional or sexual, and that's weird. You don't know this child. Like,
well, no, it's not really. It's not weird in the sense because like she obviously doesn't want to fuck the kid, but it's weird in the sense that like how good are the relationships with the men in your life, and like why do you want this young little man to emulate those relationships that are probably not good?
I need y'all to really think about how that sounds and stop talking about that child because it comes off as really creepy and weird. And it's just like, where does this disgust stem from? Because it's not like feminine men grow up and somehow are unable to change a tire or repair a car or, get money or provide for a family. Feminine men all around the world are doing that. So what really are you disgusted by? I'll tell you, you're disgusted by the fact
they're called Republicans because they're all closeted homosexuals. That's the joke.
That this child that you don't know, that you've never met, is not fitting into your box of masculinity, and it's creepy.
So yeah, as you guys can see, everybody is just super. You can just see the homophobia, like they cannot hide it. It's crazy. Me personally, I don't think she should post him like that, but it's her.
Well, there's a different conversation that be had if you're like, yeah, I think it's not good to necessarily post your kid online, And I mean, one argument you can make is because people are bullying the shit out of the kids, so you could probably make that argument. Or, if you don't think that kids should be part of content, I disagree. I think that there are ways that you can do it and be responsible. It just kind of depends on how you do it. But yeah, but they just don't like the kid's fucking feminine. So
hey, she gonna do what she want to do, but she also responded to the backlash of just everybody accusing her son of being gay.
They talk about my son's sexuality. They talk about the videos saying I was promoting molestation. Like, and then it's a little bit.
When people don't even realize, like, speaking on the things they be saying publicly, it's like you're the real creep
to even like look at something like that and just instantly think that way.
To talk about a child's sexuality, it's like weird.
Yeah, like a 5-year-old.
It's weird.
A 5-year-old.
It's so creepy. Like, y'all need to self-reflect and do some healing.
Like, it's probably
it's honestly odd. It's kind of odd.
It's scary, but it's literally to that point where I'm like, yeah, I just gotta pray for those type of people. Like, I pray that they find it in their heart to like understand that this is a child, and like it's certain things that it's certain limits you just don't cross, or certain things you just don't say. But like I said, I can't control people's perception, or I can't make people say like, oh, loyal isn't this, or like I can't do that. So I just fuck them. We ball.
I'm glad you don't let it affect you, because people get sensitive about their children as you should.
I know who my child is.
Period.
His dad knows who he is. Our family, like no one's question, worried, bothered. Period.
Enough said.
Now we only gonna react to one video today because that's all I have. My phone is on 60%, so we got to make this quick. So yeah, let's go ahead and react to the video, and I'm gonna come back with my commentary, of course.
Y'all, I just had a big revelation about black men and their sexuality.
Look,
I was thinking, like, why is it that white men tend to
I'm a white man
to be more comfortable in their sexuality? And I've already ruled out, obviously, patriarchy and white supremacy. So clearly they have...
You don't think it's white supremacy? Hey, maybe white people are just pretty cool for not hating gay people as much. Yeah, we're pretty cool.
Privilege in society. But one thing that I just realized that I never thought about before is that there are white men who were raised and accepted as gay from an early age. When I think about black and Latin men, typically we aren't raised as gay sons. We're raised as
Thot daughters, of course.
Straight sons. So
yeah, again, I really think that it's religion. It's religion. I think that if you're in a poor community, black people tend to be more poor. You're going to have a closer association with religion, and religion does not like gay people. And that's pretty much it. I think that that's what it boils down to. And so, like, when you have like underfunded and undereducated communities, systemic racism and all that jazz, you're going to see a lack of acceptance for things like, being gay.
That's why a lot of us have so much trouble coming to terms with our sexuality, because a lot of black parents will say, oh, I knew you were gay, but I didn't want to say anything, or I knew something was wrong, or I knew there was some sugar in your tank. So instead of actually accepting that that is the truth at a younger age and allowing the child to lean into who they are, that typically doesn't happen. We typically have our coming out moments in college or a little later, and I'm not talking about everybody. And so when I think about gay black men or black men who are bisexual or who are curious, no wonder that it's so difficult to manage the anxiety that comes with your sexuality, because you have not had that experience and support typically from a young age. And while when people come out, sometimes the family goes, oh, we already knew, we were waiting for you. So how...
I don't think that that's what it is. I don't think it's that. Because what he's saying is like, I think that there's probably more of an issue with accepting gay people in black communities, again, because of the religious factor, not because of black people are different. And so like you're like, oh, you know, people will just like, you know, they'll wait for them to come out. They usually do that in white families too, because, you know, not to assign, I mean, well, they don't usually. Let's just be clear. So like the healthy way to do it would be like, you know, you don't tell your kid they're gay or they're acting gay or anything like that. Just let your kid be your kid. And then, you know, if they want to come out, they'll come out to you whenever they come out to you, you know? Just, you would create an atmosphere where it's okay for them to feel comfortable coming out as gay.
About instead of waiting,
totally fucking
you create a space for the younger black boy that you see, that you think has these mannerisms or questions or attractions. How about you start embracing them for them early, so that they don't...
Well, you just want to create an atmosphere where a kid that's gay could feel comfortable coming out as gay. That's what you'd want to do.
Don't become these damaged, emotionally insecure, emotionally unintelligent men who sometimes are abusive and who sometimes hate themselves. And I'm not talking about... And I'm not suggesting that you force someone to do something before they're ready in terms of their self-development as a child, because I know somebody's going to say something about that.
Oh, fuck.
But what I am saying is that if you notice that your child may be gay, right, as you say, you've known since they were a baby, then raise them as who they are, not as who you want them to be, so that we can have the space to grow into who we are throughout our whole life.
Okay, so he made a really great point. I'm glad he ended it like that, because I was going to kind of interrupt him and be like, well, my mom was like that. She kind of already knew from an early age that, you know, my mannerisms, how I act. She always asked me like, hey, are you gay? She used to always ask me that. But me, I looked at it like, okay, well, gay is wrong, so I'm not going to tell her like that I'm gay. I'm kind of just wait when I'm ready.
Yeah, if you live in a family that thinks being gay is wrong, oh, fuck my mom. You're probably gonna want to fuck your mom. You're not gonna feel comfortable coming out as being gay, and you're probably gonna have like a lot of you know, dysfunction or dysphoria associated with potentially being gay. That would be your bigger problem there.
And it wasn't until I was 18, mind y'all, she was asking me this shit when I was like probably in middle school. She was just starting to pick up on me. I was starting to get older, you know, puberty had just hit, so you know, that was that. So she was already asking me that, but it took me until I was 18 to finally come to terms with my sexuality and, you know, be more comfortable with, you know, letting her know like, hey, I am that. But like he said, just provide your child with a safe space and don't make them do things because you want them to do it. Like, for instance, my mom, once she took notice I didn't like football, she didn't make me do it no more. So
shit, I'm not gay and I didn't like football. My mom didn't make me do it either. So how cool. Tried it for like a day. I fucking hated it.
But y'all, this...
She may be seeing the Boy Scouts though.
concludes my video. I just kind of wanted to talk about the fear of having a son. This is all that I was able to come up with, you know, giving y'all a brief history, just kind of talking about the difference between homosexuality and femininity. If you feel like I missed out on something, please feel free to leave your thoughts and comments down below. Y'all know I love y'all so much. And in the next video, I'll be more loosened up. I was tense this time because this has been a long time since I recorded. It's been 2 months, so it's crazy. But yeah, I love y'all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.
All right, cool video, interesting.